If you have a Zager guitar like I do, you probably think, gee, you know, it really can't get much better than this. Well, I have the modification that you need to know about that will make it better than this coming up. Hey everyone, Paul here, PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. And today this is really, I'm targeting this one particularly for Zager guitar owners. So I have a Zager this is a ZAD 900 OM sized cutaway electric. So it's a ZAD 900 OM CE. And the area that I want to do a modification on are the tuners. So these are conventional tuners, and I want to put on locking tuners. And so, but I have a couple of requirements. And the first requirement is that I want a no muss, no fuss drop-in replacement. I don't have any specialized luthier tools. All I'm hopefully to use is just a simple Phillips screwdriver. I have a nut driver. I have both a 3/8 and a 10 millimeter because I'm just trying to estimate the size of these nuts here. I have some wire cutters and perhaps some needle nose pliers here, and I'm wanting to replace these tuners with locking tuners because it will make string changing a breeze. And that's that's the recurring activity that you can do to always improve your guitar is change your strings. And if you've been following my channel here, you know that I really dig my Kurt Madigan strings, my 942s. And then I put on, back in like early May or so, I put on these roto sounds. But I left those roto sounds on far too long. And they got dull and ugly. They got dull and dirty, and they didn't sound good. And it tells me that, you know, I really should change the strings. So I put on these Magmas. I put on, maybe if I hold the box the right side up, these Magma amalgam strings. And that's what's on here right now, but these strings are really brand new. And so, but I'm still going to change these tuners here, but I'm not going to sacrifice the strings. So if this goes well, if these Grovers do well, I'll be able to reuse these strings. So let's talk a little bit about the tuners that are on this guitar. So I contacted, because I am an affiliate of Zager, I contacted them and they said that these are custom tuners. Well, maybe it's a custom part number, and so instead I contacted Grover themselves, and I contacted the sales manager, the service manager, excuse me, and I sent him pictures of these tuners front and back, and he says, "Oh yeah, those are Grover 102s." Okay, so what's the drop-in replacement? Well, the drop-in replacement are 502s. So these are 102G, G for gold, and so instead I purchased 502G, and so that's why I'm going to replace these guys with and he says that these will be a drop-in replacement, no muss, no fuss, easy peasy. And so that's what I'm going to try and do here today. And so in order to do that, I want to also, you know, try and preserve these strings. And so in order to do this, before I take this apart, I'm going to try and do this on the high E string only, because I happen to have an extra 9 from Kurt Madigan. He sent me a bunch of extra 9s about almost like 2 years ago. And so I'm going to sacrifice my high E string first to see whether or not if this is going to be feasible. And so I'm going to film it for you, and I'll let you know how easy it is. And if it works out well, I will show you how I'm going to reuse these strings. So stay tuned, here we go. So here I am. Oh, here's my guitar. So the high E string is going to be on the cutaway side, and it's the nearest tuner. So it's this guy here. So let me take off that string. Now, so as you can see here, I don't know if the camera's going to catch this or not. Maybe I'll use the back of my phone. You see how knurled and kinked that string is. So what I have is, my only special tool is I have a bicycle tire inner tube, and I have two of them that I cut, and I'm going to, hopefully this will work. I will take it and I will try and smooth this out. It's getting a little bit better. It's not as smooth as I was hoping it to be, but you know what? That's what it is. And this is the first time I've ever done this, so I have no idea if this is the right order to do things or not. I have no idea. Okay. And voila. Let me take that, because I will probably reuse that screw as well. So here is my existing Grover tuner, the 102. Let me pop into this guy here. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. And so here's how we use the locking tuner. You put the locking tuner so that the eye is this way. You adjust the thumb screw so that there's an internal plug that comes up through the hole. And what you do is you now thread this through. And here's where I think having, on this super light string, having the needle noses will come in handy as I now just, I get it tight, but I'm not going to get up to pitch, and now I close the slug, and now I turn it on. I now tighten up the string. And as a matter of fact, I'll use my Zager pitch guy here just to get it close. All right, that's good enough for, I just want to just make sure that this is in fact, that's it. And so now I'm going to now clip this off. Where's my, my cutters? There they are. And done. And so that's all there is to this, is that right there. The only thing that I'm not too digging right here is because the neck is fluted here at the bottom. The neck is, I'll turn it over this way, that, as you might be able to see here, it's not lying flush. It's locked in, but it's just not lying flush. And so hopefully that will not lead to any tuning issues. So this is my old one right here, my old Grover. And so now I'm going to now replace all the rest of them. I'm now going to do the rest of the string. I'm going to do the low E string. Again, tight but not too tight. Okay, now let's get this guy lined up straight. It's now lined up straight. Let me open up the this guy, and now let's go insert this. I'm going to pull it taut, and I'm going to close it up and lock it in. It's now locked in, and now I'm going to tune up the string. Let me get my tuner back on here. Doing this upside down, so it's really weird. That supposedly is E. Okay. Let's get this lined up. And let's get this opened. And let's get this lined up and get the thumb screw open. Let's do the A string. It would be bad if I got the strings mixed up. So this is the A string. And the A string is okay, so it's pulled, and now I've turned the thumb screw. It's locked in place, and turn this back on. I think I had it. A. That's A. Okay, we're getting pretty close. I'll do the fine tuning later. And now, oh, let's cut this out. And get it in the slot, tighten the thumb screw so it's nice and tight, and tune it up. Okay, so far so good. Last two to go. Let us now do the G string. Let's get this thing lined up. Short way around is this way. And open up the thumb wheel. This is a thin string, so I'm going to use my little needle noses to help me guide this through. And now pulling it through, get it into the slot, into the nut slot, and lock it in. And now I'll tune it up later. My back is killing me, so I want to get this done and do the recap. Let me open this up all the way. My eyes just don't see. There we go. And so this is, again, one of the great advantages of these locking tuners is that I'm actually reusing the string because there's no real knot. It's being wedged by an internal slug that's controlled by a thumb wheel. That's how confident I am on that. I haven't even tuned it up yet. So let's do a quick little tune here. Get my guitar over here, get all this stuff out of the way. Let me move the camera so that way we can see what's going on here. Hey everyone, hey. So that took, I don't know how much real time that took. I'll be able to figure that out later. But that wasn't so bad. Let me just get everybody tuned up here. Make sure that everybody is happy, happy, joy, joy. Do you know what that reference is? Happy, happy, joy, joy. E's a little flat. There it is, right in. A's good. Excellent. G. E. F. F. G. B. A. B, 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 B. And now high E. I'm in. Okay, so there, we're done. And so, what are my thoughts here? My thoughts are, this was on a scale of 5, 1 being easy and 5 being hard. I would say this is about a 2.5. Okay. It took a little, one of the issues that I have, and I'm going to take a photograph. I think the high E side is a little worse. The reason that I'm having the reason why I don't give this a 10 out of 10 stars is because here on the Zager, and perhaps it has to do with the way I applied the screws and tighten things down, is that on the tuning machines that are closest to the nut, the wood on the headstock begins to curve away. It begins to curve away here, and it's not letting me lie as flat as I would like it to be. So there seems to be a gap, but it is very solid. I don't think that will result in any tuning issues, but I will consult with Zager, and I will consult with Grover, and I will put links to everywhere that's in there. But the upshot of this is that it wasn't impossible to install these Grover 502s. If you want to put locking tuners on your guitar, I would say Grovers are probably the best thing they're going to do. The old Grovers, the existing ones, the 102s, are 14-to-1 ratio, and these 502s are 18-to-1, so they are much more precise. You can really, just a little bit of a turn, and you can get exactly to be in pitch that you desire. But the nice thing here is that I was able to reuse my magma strings, and I don't have to, and if I have to change a string, it's easy. It takes just this, all I have to do is just, detune it, undo the thumb screw in the back, take it off, do whatever I have to do, and put it back on. So because there's no knot, there's no deformation of the string whatsoever. And it becomes a very, very quick thing to change strings, and that's really what the goal here is to have tuning stability, but also to have the ability to change strings easily. So that way you can, keep this guitar, this wonderful guitar, keep it feeling new. If you don't have a Zager, then I would suggest that perhaps you can try and figure out what tuner, know what kind of tuners you have. If you have nondescript tuners, to perhaps write the manufacturer of your guitar and find out what kind of tuners they are. Otherwise, it might be a hunt and peck. One of the things that I did not want to do, I did not want to drill any holes. I did not want to push out any bushings. I didn't want to do any of those things. I really did not want to do any of those things whatsoever, and I was able to do that. And I had just simple tools. All I had was, I used a needle nose pliers on those very, very thin strings because they go all kinked up. I used a Phillips screwdriver, and I used a jeweler's screwdriver as well, because the shaft of this here was interfering with the thumb screw nut, the locking nut. I used the wire cutters, and I used a little ratchet, nut driver, and I used the special thing was I tried to use some inner tubes to help, straighten out the string, but it really wasn't working out, and I don't think you really need to do that. And it didn't take that long. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you go out and buy it. I will put links in the description for contact points at Grover. If you want to double sure that what version of tuners that you want to do. And it's just going to be the only problem, the tough part here is going to be these tuners that are closest to the nut, because that's where the headstock begins to curve a little bit. One side is a lot flatter than the low E side is a lot flatter than the high E side. So I might, try and redo that one. As a matter of fact, I probably will do that. So until then, hey, keep practicing and try new strings all the time and get some locking tuners. These are Grover 502s that go on this one, and I suspect that the Model 80s, the Model 50s, and the Model 900s all use 102s, and so you can get 502s. Just get the right color that you want, whether it be nickel or chrome. Okay, and so you can go onto the Grover's Grover site, and you can go pick out the right part number, and then go to your favorite guitar store or online store to go get those Grover tuners. I got mine from I got mine online. Okay, and they were not that bad. Now I do understand that I'm asking you to spend $100+ to be able to change strings, but I think it's a well worth price. I mean, you do get better tuners. These are high ratio tuners. These are 18-to-1 as opposed to 14-to-1, so they are much more precise, and you do have the advantage of locking tuners. And they were like a 95%. Drop in replacement. Just a little bit of conniving here on these on the 2 E strings to get them to lie flat, which I'll do a little bit later. So until then, hey, keep practicing, and I'll see you soon. Hey everyone, up here is going to be a video that you might want to play next, or down here is going to be a playlist that would be a good thing to do to get more practice along the same subject lines. So until then, play this one or play this one. It's up to you, whatever you want.